Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Favor and in today's tutorial we're going to be learning how to make this ruffle hat. So let's get right into the tutorial. So these are the materials we'll be needing for this tutorial. We'll be needing a measuring tape, a pair of scissors, a darning needle, and I'll be using a size 4mm hook for this tutorial. You can use any hook size of your choice depending on your yarn. And I'll be using 2 colors of yarn for this tutorial as well. This is a fingering lightweight yarn, okay, and I'll be making use of 2 strands of it, so you can use 1 strand of a worsted weight yarn if that is what you have. So let's get right into this tutorial. So like I said, I'll be using 2 strands of the fingering lightweight yarn. Okay, so to get started you want to make a magic ring. Okay, so you want to take your yarn like so and then twist it around. Okay, and when you have that, you pitch on this end, insert your hook through the loop and then make a chain. Okay, so there we have our magic ring. So to get started now, we are going to be placing 12 double crochets into this ring. So we'll be making our first double crochet. So to get started, you make a single crochet, then by this loop, by the side of that single crochet, you put your hook through and make another single crochet. So that is like 2 single crochets stacked on themselves, and then by the side of that single crochet again, you make another single crochet. So now we have 3 single crochets stacked on each other. So this is going to be our starting stitch for every row. So this is going to be our first double crochet. So now we are going to now yarn over into the loop. We are going to make another double crochet, and then we'll just keep placing double crochet into the ring until we have a total of 12 double crochet into that ring. So go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you once you have 12. So at this point now I have 12 double crochets into the ring. So we are just going to pull on this tail end to close up this ring. Okay, so you want to pull on that end tightly, so pull as tight as you can, so that closes up the ring. And then the next thing we are going to do now is that we are going to slip stitch to join to the top of this first double crochet that we have here. So you want to insert your hook through that top, yarn over, and then pull through. Okay, so now we have slip stitch to join for this run. So you want to chain 1 and then turn your work. So now for the second row, so you want to pull your stitches apart like so, so that you can see where to place your next stitch. So this is our first stitch here, so this is the top of that first stitch. So this is where we are going to place our first starting double crochet stitch, and remember it is 3 single crochets stacked on top of each other. Okay, so this is our starting double crochet stitch. So into that same very stitch space where we made this first double crochet, you want to make another double crochet there. So now we have 2 double crochet into that ring there. So into the next stitch space, you place 2 double crochet into that ring, into the stitch I mean, so 2 double crochet. Into the next, you place 2 double crochet into that same stitch. So for this row, we are placing 2 double crochet on every stitch all the way until you get to the end of the row, and I'll meet you there. So at this point, I'm towards the end of that row, and as you can see, I still have 1 more stitch left to work into. So I'm just trying to show you how you can figure out your very last stitch. So this is our last stitch, and this is the stitch where we started. Okay, so you want to place your last stitch into this very last stitch here. So yarn over into that very last stitch, you make your last 2 double crochet into that same stitch space, and then we are going to slip stitch to join to the top of this first double crochet here. Okay, so at the end of this row, you should have a total of 24 stitches around. So after we've done this round now, you want to chain 1, turn your work, and then like I said, always pull your stitches apart so you can tell where to put your very first double crochet stitch. So you make your first starting double crochet stitch, which is 3 single crochets stacked on each other, and then into that same stitch you are going to make another double crochet, making it 2 double crochet into the same stitch. Okay, now into the following stitch you make 1 double crochet. Into the next stitch you place 2 double crochet into the same stitch, so 1 and then 2. Into the next stitch you place 1 double crochet, and then into the next stitch you place 2 double crochet. So you're just repeating this pattern all the way around. So we are making 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet all the way until we get to the end of the row, and I'll meet you there as well. So at this point now, I'm towards the end of this round as well, which is our row 3, and like I said, always pull your stitches apart so that you can tell where to place your very last stitch. So I made 2 double crochet in 1 stitch here, so this very next one now is going to be just 1 double crochet on top of that very last stitch there, and then we're going to slip stitch to join to the top of this stitch. Okay, so this is what we have, and when you look at the stitches around, you should have 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 all the way until you join, and the total of stitches you should have at the end of this row should be 36, because you started with 12, and then 12 on the second row you times it by 2, you have 24. Okay, so now on the third row now, 12 times 3, you should have 36 stitches around. So now for the fourth row, you want to chain 1, turn your work, and then always pull your stitches apart and make your first starting double crochet stitch. And then into the same stitch you place another double crochet stitch, making it 2 in 1 double crochet stitch. Now into the next stitch you place 1, into the next stitch you place 1 double crochet again, and then into this next stitch you're going to place 2 double crochets into that same stitch space. So we did 2 1 1 2, so the next is going to be 1 1. So 1 double crochet into the next stitch, another 1 double crochet, and then into the next stitch you should be making 2 double crochets. So this is just the pattern we are going to be repeating: 2 double crochets in the same stitch, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet in different stitches, and we'll repeat that pattern all the way until we get to the end of the row. And like I said, when you get to the end of this row you should have a total of 48 stitches, because 12 times the 4th row, 12 times 4, you should have 48 stitches. So do that and I'll meet you. So at this point I'm towards the end of row 4, and I'm just placing my remaining double crochets into the remaining last 2 stitches. Okay, so you're ending with 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then you slip stitch to the top of that very first double crochet that we did, just like we did for the previous round. So once you have slip stitch to join that round, remember you chain 1, you turn your work, and then we're going to work on the 5th round now. And the pattern of increase for the 5th round, remember you start with 2 in 1 double crochets, so making our first double crochet stitch, and then into that same stitch space you make another double crochet, and then moving on to the other stitches now. So remember the previous row we did 2, and the row before that we did 1. What I mean is we did 2 1 2 1, and then for this one we did 2 1 1 2 1 1. So for this next row now we are going to be doing 2 1 1 1 2 1 1 1. So it's going to be separated by 3 double crochets. So into the next stitch now we are going to make 1 double crochet, into the next stitch you make 1 double crochet, into the next stitch you make 1 double crochet, and then into the next stitch you make 2 in 1 double crochet. So 1 and then 2. So into the next stitch now you make 1 double crochet, into the next stitch you make another 1 double crochet, into the next stitch you make another 1 double crochet, and then into this next one now we are going to be making 2 double crochets, into the same stitch space. Okay, so this is what we have. So the pattern for repeat for this is 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet. So you repeat that pattern all the way until you get to the end of the row, and then for subsequent rows you're just going to keep increasing these until we have about 7 inches when you measure your circle flat like so. So right now we have almost 4, so I'm just going to keep repeating until I have about 7-inch flat circle when I measure it all the way across. And one thing I want you to note for the pattern of increase, I'll be displaying that on the screen. So this is 1st row, 2nd row, 3rd, 4th, 5th row. So this is the pattern for the 5th row. For this 5th row now we have 2 double crochets separated by 3 double crochets, and then 2 in 1 double crochet. So for the 6th row it is going to be 2 in 1 double crochet separated by 4 double crochets, and then 2 in 1 double crochet, like that all the way. And then you keep increasing the numbers of double crochet in between. So for the next row, which is going to be the 7th row, is going to be 2 in 1 double crochet separated by 5 double crochet, and then you just keep increasing the number of double crochet separated by the 2 in 1 until you have the flat circle, the width that we wanted, okay, which is about 7 inches when you measure across. So just go ahead and keep repeating that until you get that. So at this point now I've made 7 rows. This is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 rows of increase, and when you spread it out flat and you take your tape and then measure all the way across, you can see I have it almost 7 inches. If I should add one more row it would be more than 7 inches, so I'm going to be stopping here. Okay, so this is the length of my work across. So you want to make yours, like I said, you want to keep making your flat circle, your increases all the way until you have about 7 inches across when you measure from here to this side of your work when you spread it out flat. So now after you've made your rows of increase and it is the wideness that you need for the size of your cap, you want to chain 1 and then turn your work, and then we are going to start making our next row without decreasing. Okay, so for this next row now we are going without increasing, so for this next row now we are going to place 1 double crochet into that very first stitch there. So this is our 1 double crochet. Into the next stitch you make 1 double crochet, and then we are going to be making 6 double crochets on 6 different stitches. So we have 2 now, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. So after you have 6 double crochets now we are going to introduce our next color for our checkered pattern. Okay, so this is our next color of yarn, and for us to switch color we are going to undo the last part of this stitch, just this very last part like so, then insert your hook back through those loops, and then we are going to be using our new color to finish. So this is the wrong side of our work and this is the right side of our work, so you want to take note of that. And our yarns, the tails of our yarns are going to always be on the wrong side of our work like so. So you want to take your yarn and then use the new color to finish off the last of that stitch there. Okay, and then you want to bring this other color into the wrong side of your work like so, yarn over, and then we are going to be working over these tails. So we want to secure this new color, so you want to tie the two of them together like so. So don't tie it too tightly, so just enough to secure the yarn. Okay, so now we have secured the purple yarn to our work, and you can see. So after that first stitch, now we are going to be carrying this yellow yarn across. Okay, and at the same time we would walk over this purple yarn to hide it. So yarn over into the next stitch, you make 1 double crochet. Remember I said we are walking over the stitches. Okay, so this is 1. Into the next stitch, you make another double crochet. So we are making another 6 double crochets on 6 separate stitches. Okay, so we have 3 now. This is the 4th one, and then the 5th one, and then this is 6. So after the 6th one, we switch to our next color. So remember to always switch before you finish that last stitch. So you drop this yarn, and then you bring this color over and use it to finish that last stitch there. So now we are going to make 6 more colors of 6 more double crochets using the yellow yarn. So into this, the next stitch, you make 1 double crochet. Into the next stitch, you make 1 double crochet. So this is what this other side of our work looks like. So you just make 6 more double crochets, and after the 6th stitch there, before you finish it, you switch on to your next color and use that color to make another 6 stitches, and we keep alternating it like that all the way until we get to the end of the row. So this is 1 2 3 4 5 6. So we are going to switch on now to the purple yarn. Okay, and then continue. So you just keep alternating the colors, 6 purple, 6 yellow, 6 purple, 6 yellow, all the way until we get to the end of the row. So now I'm towards the end of that row, and I'm just making my last purple stitch for this row. Okay, so this is what we have, 6 6 for each of the color all the way around until you get to the end of the row, and then we are going to slip stitch to join to the top of this color. And for the next row, so since this is our next color that we are going to be working with, you want to drop the purple yarn and then pick up the yellow yarn and use it to slip stitch and join that round. Okay, so after you have slip stitch to join, you want to chain 1, turn your work, and okay, so I made a mistake. We need the purple yarn, because since we'll be turning our work, we'll be starting with the purple yarn, so we are not switching color at the end of the row. We are just going to continue working with that same color of yarn. So I'm just going to slip stitch to this very first stitch here, then chain 1, and then turn my work. So remember we are carrying this yarn with us because we'll be working with this color over here. So into the very first stitch there, you want to place your very first starting double crochet. So for this round, you're just repeating what we did for the other round and making sure that the same color of stitch is on top of the same color of stitch. So for all these places where we have purple, work purple, and at the end of this purple stitch, we switch to our yellow yarn and then work yellow and then work purple, and keep repeating that until we get to the end of the row. So I'm just completing my purple stitches for this row. So like I said, you'll be carrying this yarn across with you. So when you get to that very last purple stitch there, we are going to switch to our, okay, so you want to drop this color and then switch onto your yellow yarn, which is for the next set of colors. So onto the yellow stitch now, you start working with yellow. So you just keep placing double crochets on every stitch and making sure that all the colors are corresponding to the same color on the previous row. Okay, so this is the first row where we alternated for our checkered pattern. This is the second row, so placing the same colors on each of the stitches all the way around until we get to the end of the row. So at this point, I've worked my second row of the checkered pattern all the way, and I'm towards the end. Okay, so I'm placing the very last stitch for this checkered pattern for this part. Okay, and then I will slip stitch to join to the top of this very first stitch here to connect the row. Okay, so after I slip stitch and join, I chain 1 and then turn my work. So now for this next row, now we are going to need to alternate the colors. So what I mean by that is, any place you have yellow, you're going to be putting purple on it, and any place you have purple, you're going to be putting yellow on it. So this is our very first row, and this is our very first stitch. So I'll be making my starting double crochet stitch there. So I'm going to drop this yellow yarn and pick up the purple, because we'll be working purple on top of this stitch here. Okay, so let me move that out of the way. So you drop the yarn you're currently working with and into this very same stitch space here, and you want to use the purple yarn to start working. So you make your first single crochet, stack another single crochet on it, okay, and then stack another single crochet on it to make your very first double crochet stitch there. So you want to pull on this yellow yarn, and then we are going to carry it across as we walk. So yarn over into the very next second stitch there, you place your double crochet. Into the next stitch, you place a double crochet, and like I said, we are carrying this stitch across with us. Okay, so into the next stitch. So when you get to the end of this yellow yarn here, the very last stitch there, we are going to switch on to the other color and use it to alternate. Okay, so carrying this yarn also across, and then we are going to work yellow stitches into the purple stitches. So this is what is going to give us that checkered pattern look. So we're just going to keep making double crochets with the other color on top of each of these purple stitches that we have here. Okay, so when you get to the last stitch there, you're going to switch on to the other color as well. Okay, so I'm going to switch on now to this color and then continue. So this is just the pattern we are going to repeat for this row. So this is the third row for our checkered pattern, and remember, no more increases, and you're always carrying your yarn with you so that you can have it to work with. So you can see for this part now where we have 2 rows of yellow, we are now having purple on it. This place where we have 2 rows of purple, we're having yellow on it. So you just keep repeating that all the way until you get to the end of the row. So now I'm at the end of this row. I'm just placing my last double crochet stitch. So once you're done, you want to slip stitch to join to the top of your very first stitch there. So once you slip stitch and join, you chain 1 and then turn your work. So you can see our checkered pattern is already forming. So for this next row now, we are going to repeat what we did for the second row of the checkered pattern. So we are going to be placing the same color of stitches on top of each of all the stitches. So you place these yellow stitches on this, and when you get to this last yellow stitch, you switch and make purple stitches on this, and we'll repeat that all the way until we get to the end of the row, so that we'll have the same thing we have down here. So we are going to add another row to complete it, 2 rows for each color. Okay, so into the very first stitch there, so remember to carry your yarn with you. So into the very first stitch there, I'm going to be placing my first double crochet stitch, and then into the next your double crochet stitch, and repeat this on all the yellow stitches. Okay, so now I'm at the last yellow stitch there. I'm going to work yellow into that, and then I'm going to switch on to my next color. Okay, so which is purple, and then still carrying the yellow yarn with me into the purple stitch. I'm going to be making purple double crochets. So like I said, you can see this 2 is the same color, this 2 is the same color. So this is just the pattern we'll repeat all the way until we get to the end of the row. So at this point, I've completed the second rows of the same color all the way around, and you can see I have 2 color here, 2 color here. So you can see the checkered pattern is already there. Okay, so and I've already started my next row. Okay, so for the next row, you're going to alternate the colors. So the pattern for this checkered is after 2 rows of the same color, you alternate to another color and make 2 rows of the same color, and you alternate to another color and make 2 rows of those same colors. So as you can see here now, after these 2 rows, I've changed to the next color here, and I'm going to make these 2 rows and then change to another color and keep repeating that all the way around. Okay, so right now the length of from the checkered part, okay, so from where we started our checkered pattern, you know, we did 7 rows for the base of the cap. So now for these other parts, which is the body of the cap, we are going to make from here, I have about 2 inches, and I'm going to make this checkered pattern all the way until I have about 3.5 inches. Okay, so you just keep making your checkered pattern row after row and alternating the colors when you need them after 2 rows of each color until you have about 3.5 inches in length of your checkered pattern. So when you have 3.5 inches, I'll meet you there. Alright, so at this point now, I've made my checkers parts up to the length that I wanted, which is about 3.5 inches, like I said. So starting from where we started our checkers, you want to place your tape and measure it all the way down to the very last row there. So you can see mine is 3.5. Okay, and another thing I want you to take note of, you can see that after this last row now, it's kind of like the checkers is incomplete, but that does not matter since we have achieved the length that we need. So once you have 3.5 inches, you have to stop. So mine was 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, total of 7 rows for the checkered parts. So at this point now, you want to measure our full work. So I'm just folding it like so into 4 so that we can get a better measurement. So once you have that, you want to take your tape measure, place it from the very tip there and all the way across, and you can see it's about 6.5 inches, and I have a total of 14 rows in total. So once you measure your work from the top all the way to this pattern, you have about 6.5 inches. That's it, you are good to go. So we are going to start working our ruffle part next. So now let us finish this part together. I have yellow yarn, and for this next row now I want to use purple yarn for the ruffle part. So I'm going to slip stitch to join this row, but the thing is I'm going to be slip stitching with the new color of yarn I want to work with. So I'm just going to use this purple yarn to slip stitch and join. Okay, so you want to pull this close like so, and then we are going to cut off the yellow yarn because we don't need it anymore. So you cut it, and then we are going to tie this yellow yarn to the purple yarn like so. So this ensures that the yarn, our work, is not going to unravel. So you want to tie it as tightly as you can. So now we want to chain one and then turn our work. So another thing is to make sure that your yarn that you're tying is on the wrong side of your work. So this is the right side and this is the wrong side of my work. So for this next row now, we are going to be making single crochet stitches all the way around the edge like so, and we'll be decreasing as we work as well. So into this very first stitch here, you're going to place a single crochet stitch there, and then into the next two stitches we are going to make a single crochet decrease. So into this first stitch here, you pick only the front loop. You can see we have two loops there, so you pick only the front loop, and into the next stitch you're going to pick the back loop, and then you want to make a single crochet into those two stitches together. So now moving on to the next stitch, you place one single crochet, and then into the next two stitches we are going to make decreases. So pick the front loop and then pick the back loop of the second stitch and then make a single crochet there. Into the next stitch you place a single crochet. Into the next two stitches you make your decrease. So pick the front loop of the first stitch and pick the back loop of the second stitch and make your single crochet. Into the next stitch you make single crochet. So this is the pattern we are going to repeat all the way around, making one single crochet and single crochet decrease on two stitches all the way until we get to the end of the row. So after you're done making the single crochet decrease all the way around for this row, you're going to slip stitch to join to the first single crochet. Okay, and then if you notice, our hat looks like after making the single crochet, it looks like the rim of the hat is smaller. All you have to do is just to stretch it. Okay, you stretch it so that the single crochet stitches can loosen up because of that decrease. So what this does is that you don't have to add elastic again because we have already tightened the base of the cap, so it's going to fit perfectly. So after we have done that, now you want to chain one and we want to start making our ruffle part. And for the first row of the ruffle, so after you've done into the very first single crochet stitch there, you want to make 2 double crochets into that same stitch. Okay, so this is 1 double crochet, and then into the same stitch you make another 1 double crochet. Into the next stitch you place only 1 double crochet, and into the next stitch you place 2 double crochets into the same stitch. Into the next stitch you place only 1, and into the next stitch you place 2 double crochet into the same stitch. So this is the pattern we are going to repeat all the way around. Okay, you repeat that all the way around until we get to the end of the row. So at this point now, I'm towards the end of this row. That is the first row for the ruffle. Okay, and once you're done, you just slip stitch to the top of that very first double crochet that we had there, chain one, turn your work. Okay, now we are going to start the second row for the ruffle, and to do that we are going to be making 3 double crochet in one, 2 double crochet in one, 1 double crochet in one. Okay, so let's just do it so that you understand what I mean. So for the first row we are going to be placing 3 double crochet into the very first stitch. So this is 1. So into that same stitch you place another double crochet. This is 2. Into the same stitch you place another double crochet. That is 3. Into the next stitch you are going to be placing 2 double crochets. Okay, so 1 and then 2 into the same stitch, and then into the next stitch you just place only 1 double crochet there. Okay, so now we have 3, 2, 1. Then into the next stitch you are going to place 1 double crochet. Into the next stitch you place 2 double crochet into the same stitch, so 1 and then 2 into the same stitch, and then into the next stitch you place 3 double crochets into the same stitch. So this 2 and then the third one. So this is the pattern we'll be repeating. So we'll start from the beginning all over again. We'll make 3 double crochet in one stitch, 2 double crochet in one stitch, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 3 double crochet. So this is the pattern we have to repeat all the way across the row until we get to the end of the row. So after you're done making the second row for the ruffles, okay, we want to slip stitch to join the row, then chain one, turn your work, and then we're going to make the third rows now. And the pattern for the third rows is that we're going to be placing 3 double crochet into this very first stitch here. So the first starting double crochet stitch, then into that same stitch you make another double crochet, into the same very stitch you make another double crochet, making it 3. Into the next stitch you are going to also make 3 double crochets into the same stitch, so 1, 2 and then 3 into the same stitch. So now we have 3 double crochet in the first stitch, 3 double crochet in the second stitch, and into the next stitch we'll be making 2 double crochet into the same stitch. Okay, and into the next stitch we'll be making 2 double crochet into that same stitch. So this is the pattern to repeat. So we are going to start all over again. So we'll make 3 double crochet in one stitch, 3 double crochet in one stitch, 2 double crochet in one stitch, 2 double crochet in one stitch, and we'll repeat that again. So repeating it, we will make the 3 double crochet in the very next stitch. So the first 3 double crochet. In the next stitch, you make another 3 double crochets. So, and then 3. In the next stitch, you make 2 double crochets. In the next stitch, you make 2 double crochet into the same stitch. So we're going to start the pattern all over again, and this is the pattern we want to repeat all the way until we get to the end of the row. So at this point, I'm done with the third row of the ruffle part. Okay, so after you complete that third row, you want to slip stitch and join to the very first double crochet that we have there to secure the round, and then you chain 1, pull up a loop. And we're going to cut off this purple color, okay, because we are going to switch on to another color so that we can work on the border. So for the next part, we are now going to turn our work, okay, because this was how we worked and joined. So you turn your work, and then we are going to attach our new color, which is the yellow color, into this, the top of this very first double crochet stitch here. So you want to attach your yarn like so. Once you have attached your yarn, you want to chain 1, and then we'll single crochet into that same very stitch space. So place a single crochet there. Okay, into the next stitch you place a single crochet. Into the next stitch you place a single crochet. And if you notice, I'm walking over this tail here so that I can hide it as I'm going. So for this round, all we have to do is just to place single crochet stitches on all of the stitches all the way across until we get to this point where we started. So just go ahead and place single crochet on all of the stitches across, and I'll meet you when we are done. So at this point, I've made the single crochet all the way around the edges. Okay, once you're done with your last single crochet for the row, you want to slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet that we had to connect that round, and then you chain 1, pull up a loop, and we're going to cut off the excess yarn. Okay, and then like so, we are done with our ruffles. So you can go ahead and, you know, arrange your ruffles the way you would like them to be. So just go ahead and arrange your ruffles however you want it to look, right? So once you're done with that, you turn your work inside out, and we are going to weave in all these ends that we have. So starting from this first part that we just finished, you want to take your yarn needle, and then you want to pick a few stitches. Remember, you're weaving in on the wrong side of your work, so pick a few stitches of the same color of the yarn that you want to hide. Okay, feed your yarn through your needle. Once you have that, you pull it through, and then you want to cut off the excess yarn. And then we are going to repeat that for all the other places where we have yarns sticking out of our work. So after you're done weaving in your ends, you want to turn your work back to the right side of your work, and you can also go ahead and rearrange your ruffles again if need be. And that will be all for this ruffle hat tutorial. Like I said, if you notice that the cap is a bit tight on your head, it's because of those single crochets that we did before the ruffle part. So you just have to, you know, stretch out the cap a bit, and it's going to fit snugly. Okay, so right now I'm just arranging my ruffles the way I want it, so you can go ahead and arrange yours. And that will be all for this tutorial. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and also leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to tag me on Facebook and IG when you recreate this project. You can also check out my other videos. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next tutorial. Bye.